Hi guys, it's Grace with Grace Gets Gastric. Today is Wednesday, February 19th, 2020, and I am here today for my 3-week post-op plastic surgery update, or my 2-year, 7-week post-op VSG update. So again, as always, I will go ahead and start us off with stats. Again, my name is Grace. I am 5'8", 29 years old, and on January 2nd, 2018, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or VSG, weight loss surgery. My highest weight ever recorded was 354 pounds in May of 2017, and I was required by my insurance to do a 6-month medically supervised weight loss diet, and over the course of that 6 months, I lost 35 pounds, so my starting weight day of VSG was 319 pounds. Over the course of about 2 years, I lost over 120 pounds since the VSG, and on January 29th, 2020, I had my first round of plastic surgery for excess skin removal with Dr. Alejandro Galvez in Tijuana, Mexico. So my weight day of plastic surgery was 192.6 pounds, and this morning, 3 weeks post-op, I weighed in at 181 even. So that is a loss since plastic surgery of 11.6 pounds, a loss since VSG of 138 pounds, and a loss since my highest weight of 173 pounds. You'll know if you watch my 2-week update, I am up like 0.7 pounds since then. I think until, I don't know, I'll decide when I decide to go back to kind of like weekly weighing, but right now my weight is definitely fluctuating quite a bit with swelling based on how much sodium I'm eating, just generally day to day. I had my period this past week, so I actually in the whole week since my last time I weighed you, there was only one day where it like kind of dipped below, dipped to like 179 for a second, but for the most part I've been kind of like 180 to 182. I've also not been eating the best. I can go ahead and admit that. I've been eating okay. I mean, I've got a lot of my meals prepped, but my sister did buy 2 packs of Girl Scout cookies, 2 boxes of the Samoas, and the Thin Mints, which are my 2 favorite cookies. And if you've been watching my channel again for any length of time, you know that cookies are one of my big trigger foods. I could have told her not to bring them, but I'll be honest, I wanted them, and it didn't help that, again, that coincided with me being on my period, and all I wanted was chocolate. So I've not had all of the Girl Scout cookies yet, but I will probably finish them today or tomorrow. So I'll have had about 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies in a week. I do not plan to buy any more after that, so there's that. But I'm giving myself a little bit of grace. Like I said, I'm not eating super terribly all of the time, but definitely more carbs and higher calorie than maybe I should be. It's such a hard balance because I've been used to eating about 1,500 calories, 150 grams of protein. And my plan was to basically continue doing that throughout recovery, because though I am significantly less active than I have been, you also are burning more calories when you're recovering from surgery. I haven't really been able to find a lot of information on how long that lasts. But from what I saw, they were kind of like, you should be eating 15 to 20 calories per pound, which would be having me have more calories than I'm currently eating. But, you know, they also have recommendations for how many calories one should be eating when you're not recovering from surgery, and I generally need maybe a little bit less than that to maintain. So, I don't know. I'm just kind of playing it by ear. I'm not super worried about it, and my weight has fluctuated a little bit, but not significantly. And, yeah. I'm not worrying about it, is essentially the thing, but I'm trying not to go too crazy, and I am going to be trying to be better about not going super crazy high calorie. But again, I'm trapped for all intents and purposes. I'm trapped in this apartment, and so I can kind of only eat what's here, and there's not a lot of bad food here, but when my sister comes and visits, sometimes I ask her to bring me things. Anyways, update. Sorry, I just sort of talked for a while about a lot of things. I feel like I've got a lot to update you guys on. So hopefully this video isn't too long, but I'm sure if it is, y'all won't mind, because if you're anything like me, you find this stuff really interesting. You can see I've been playing with makeup. I had a lot of fun I've been having fun playing around, even though basically nobody sees me. My hair is gross, and I put it up in this like poofy bun, and then I was like, I guess I'll just film like this. But what am I gonna talk about? Okay, so first things first, I have removed 3 additional drains in this past week, so I'm down to 1 drain left. So I removed my 2 lower drains and my other breast drain, my left breast. So the only one left is my upper back drain. So it's still kind of like right below my armpit. But it is nice. It's nice being almost drain free, just because particularly the lower drains, I can wear pants now that are like not super loose. Like I'm wearing more of my compression leggings again, just because that's what I feel comfortable in. And without having those drains there, it's easier for me to do that, which is nice. Removing them was not fun. I mean, you guys saw me remove my right breast drain. I would say of the 4 drains I've removed, that was the easiest one, which is funny and nice that it was the first one because then I didn't freak myself out too much. The other ones just had a little bit more suction. And so you're pulling quite hard to get them out. You're not yanking, but you know, you've got quite a firm pressure and they're almost like kind of stuck, and then it hits a point where it like loosens and then you can pull it out, and that's when you feel it slithering through your insides and you're sort of like, am I pulling out an organ? Is this what it's supposed to do? You know, it's just a little bit freaky. But you know, they've all come out, no real issues other than just, you know, uncomfortable and a little, like a smidge of pain, but completely manageable, and it's so brief. But it is a little bit freaky, you know, especially because you're sort of inflicting pain on yourself, and I always find that a lot more difficult. You know, it's like if you've ever tried to give yourself a wax. For me, I remember I tried to wax my legs once, and I put on 2 strips. I pulled the first one, not knowing what to expect. It was so painful, and I could not make myself pull the second one off. I had to have my friend, someone was here, and they had to do it for me because I was like, I cannot physically do it, and otherwise I'm just going to die with this strip on my leg. So it's just a little bit weird. Again, you don't have to necessarily remove them yourself. Most people, not most, but I'd say most people remove them at home. You could have a significant other or a friend, someone do it if you know anybody. You might also be able to go into your PCP and have them do it, or your doctor somehow. Not all doctors will do it. If you've done them abroad, some doctors are not willing to work with you. I just frankly didn't feel like it was necessary because though it was weird and uncomfortable, like I was capable of doing it myself, and I felt confident in doing it and in caring for it, and I wasn't about to pay the copay to have someone do something that I could do myself. So that's just where I was at with that. I also was able to remove one of the stitches. So most of the stitches are dissolvable except for the ones around my belly button and the ones around the drain, and then there was one around the lipo site on my tailbone. So my sister came over and did that, which was fun because obviously I can't remove that one just because I can't see it. It was like basically right above my crack for, you know, it's like right above my ass. And so it's like, I can't see that. I can't be taking scissors and cutting something I can't see. So, you know, I told my sister she had to do it. She's really squeamish about that stuff. And she's like, okay, I can cut it, but I won't be able to pull it out of you, which I think is just so ridiculous because it's so tiny. But anyway, she cut it. I pulled it. It was super easy. It was not a big deal. And I will eventually need to take the ones out of my belly button. I think that I will probably be able to do that this week or probably within the next week. I sent in my pictures today to the Aftercare email to my surgeon to take a look at and just make sure everything's good. And so he'll be the one to tell me when I can remove the belly button stitches. So I was experiencing a few issues. I would say probably like right after last week's update, really early last week, like maybe Thursday, I really noticed additional swelling in my lower right abdomen, and it was a little bit painful when I pressed on it. And so I was a little bit concerned. I emailed them about that. And the pain only lasted for like a day or two. I actually think in retrospect that it was a combination of I was about to start my period and I was a little bit constipated. I hadn't really noticed until I eventually, you know, went to the bathroom. It was a little bit more difficult and, you know, I hadn't realized it's been a while since I've gone. And after that, it wasn't painful anymore. So I think it was probably just constipated, and then maybe some issues with my just period, bloat, all of that stuff. I am still swollen a little bit more on my right side than my left. And my doctor advised just to add some lipo foam to my beneath my faja. So that's another issue. My faja is definitely too loose on me. They sent me home with an extra large. I probably should have been in a large from the start and probably could be in a large or medium now. They tend to kind of stick everyone in an extra large right after surgery, which makes sense to an extent because you're so bloated. But by the time I went home, I was already on the second hook. I was almost immediately on the first, the tightest hook. And so I definitely have extra space, and I think that's part of why I'm still so swollen in my belly area. It's just not providing me enough compression. I did order a faja, I think I mentioned in my last video. I can't remember if I had or not. But I did order a contour faja, which is one that a few people had mentioned really liking, and they do custom measurements, which is what I liked because I wasn't quite sure, which size I should be in. So I did like a video call, and they took my measurements and all that stuff, and it should be here, I want to say tomorrow. Yes, it should be here on Thursday. So I'm excited to get into that one, and we'll see if that fits and how that works. So I'll have an update for you guys on that next week, but I'm hoping that will be better just because I do need more compression right now, I think. Another issue that I experienced was, so I have a extended tummy tuck and a fleur-de-lis, right? So there's like that T incision, and right around that T area, there was some like leakage, some drainage happening right there. So I was, I was changing my pad or something, and I noticed that the tape was like damp, and the pad had like spots on it where, normally it doesn't have anything. It's just there to protect the incision because it was from rubbing against the faja. And so I noticed, oh, okay, that's not normal. And the tape was all damp, and there was, some like, drainage. It wasn't blood necessarily. I mean, there was like a little, it was kind of like, almost like the lymphatic fluid in my little drain, kind of a pinkish color. And the incision was looking a little bit damp and weird and gross. So I just, I cleaned it off. I covered it with gauze, and I emailed Aftercare to ask about that. So, sorry, I'm a little parched. It did take so I was emailing Aftercare. I sent them like 3 emails, like within 2 days of each other, just because I had a couple of different things come up. I had some questions for them. I had that swelling and leakage issue, and then I just had my weekly update. And it took them a while to get back to me for those first 2 emails. I want to say like 48 hours, which is kind of a lot, especially because one of my issues I was pretty concerned about. Since then, they've been much more responsive. So, and they apologized for taking a long time. And I know they're taking a long time for a few other people as well. So that is just something to note, is that sometimes, if they're really busy with other things, it might take them a while to get back to you. If I had been really, really concerned, I would have called and I would have taken steps to get answers. But other than just being freaked out about my incision kind of leaking, I had messaged this group chat that we have with other girls who had surgery and who've had surgery before, and they sort of confirmed, yeah, like that's probably what you should be doing, and basically said that it was normal and like that they had experienced this thing before as well. So I felt pretty confident about what I was doing and was okay with waiting for them to get back to me. I did not think it was something super urgent, and it wasn't. And if it had been, then I would have taken steps to get an answer sooner. But that is just something that sometimes it might take a while to get a response from the Aftercare email. And if you are super, super concerned, then you need to be proactive about your care. And I believe that regardless of, if it was in Mexico or the States, I've always been someone who is no problem advocating for myself. And I think that it's important that you have that ability, to be honest. Other things. I'm at a point now where I can shower standing up if I'm not washing my hair. I can't remember if I mentioned that before. Sorry if I repeat myself. It's hard for me to remember sometimes what's happened when, but unless I'm showering my hair, which I generally do every like 3 to 4 days, just because I don't like to overwash my hair, I can shower standing up now, and I do find it's a little bit actually faster to just shower standing up as opposed to sitting, but I am able to shower while standing if I'm not washing my hair. If I'm trying to raise my hands up, I can't raise them up. Like I can raise them up a lot more when I'm sitting than when I'm standing. So that's what I do if I'm washing my hair. I've also, so I told you that some of the tape had come off of that FDL incision. The tape has also come off of my lower extended tummy tuck incision. So it was sort of starting to peel, and so I just in the shower kind of loosened it enough to get the tape off from the lower incision, and it's off the lower part of my FDL. And I've asked, I sent in my update I mentioned today to my surgeon, and I asked if I could take off the rest of the tape just because it's starting to get a little bit gross, and I would like to be able to actually see the incisions. So hopefully I'll be able to take that tape off soon. I also noticed when that tape came off of my lower FDL incision that there is what looks like a single stitch that is of the non-dissolvable variety. So I've asked them as well, like, hey, is this stitch non-dissolvable? That's what it looks like. And if so, should I remove it? So that I'll find out as well when they respond. Oh gosh, if you've been following me on Instagram, which you should because I mostly do daily updates over there, just little tidbits of my day. But my laptop died, which was such a whole freaking debacle. So my laptop fell on the charger, and apparently both the charger and the charging port of my laptop got messed up. And so I thought it was just the charger, so I ordered a charger from Amazon, a new one. That wasn't working either. It just stopped holding a charge. So then I went to Best Buy with my sister. I had to wait and go to Best Buy with my sister. And through talking, basically they didn't have the charger I needed in stock. And then I talked with the associate, and he's like, it sounds like it's probably your charging port in your actual laptop. We're not able to fix that, but if you go to this other place, they probably would be able to. So then thankfully, we called them and they were like, yeah, go ahead and just bring it in today. So we did that. And talking with them, they're like, yeah, that's probably the issue, but we'll have to take apart your whole laptop to figure out, and then see if we have the part in stock to change it or to fix it. And if not, we'd have to order it and all that stuff. And basically he was like, it's going to take probably 7 to 10 business days, or you can expedite it for an extra $40. And that should be like 1 to 3 business days. And so I was like, that's the one we want to do. I'm stuck home for the next 2 weeks because this is the weekend this happened. So I'm stuck home for the next 2 weeks. I really need a laptop. I want to be able to edit videos. If I didn't have my laptop, I can't post any new YouTube videos, and I really want to play Sims. So thankfully we took it in. It was ready the next day. They fixed it. It was annoying. It was probably like, I think I spent like maybe $200. I had to get a new charger. I had to get, they had to change the charging port and all of that, but I have a laptop again, so that is nice. I also actually drove for the first time to get my laptop. So it was ready yesterday, and my sister was going to come over that day to drop off. She went to Costco and Walmart, and so she got me a few things. But because that ended up taking so long, it turned out that she wasn't going to be able to she didn't get here until 8 o'clock, and the place closed at 6. And my roommate was also not going to get home until like 6:30, and I really wanted my laptop. So the place is like a 10-minute drive, not even 10-minute drive from where I am. My doctor said they would recommend waiting to 4 weeks for driving for what I had, but if I needed to drive short distances carefully, they would be okay with me doing that at 3 weeks, and I was at 3 weeks. So I decided I was okay with driving, and it's like I could have taken a Lyft there and back, but it would have been kind of ridiculous and expensive. And again, because I was at 3 weeks, I felt confident driving, and it was totally fine, and it was a very short period of time. So I was able to drive and get my laptop, and it's here and it works, so that's nice. It was just terrible timing, and I did have to go without my laptop for a couple days, which was super annoying, but c'est la vie. In other exciting news, I scheduled my round 2 plastics. So I actually filmed a day in the life video last Friday, which is when all of this happened. The round 2 stuff happened. So I will be posting that, I think, this coming Friday. I couldn't edit it because my laptop died. So I just got it back last night, and those take a little bit longer to edit because it's a bunch of clips. So I want to get this video out first, and then that one will probably be up on Friday. So that'll give me time to edit it. But So I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because I talked more about it in that video, but I did schedule my round 2 plastics for the end of October for right now, thighs and arms. That is kind of subject to change, and I still do need to do some research, not research, but I need to ensure that I'm really able to do that in October with my life and stuff, but I think that it should be fine. That should work out, and I'm very excited, and I have it all scheduled. I'm not going to talk about pricing for round 2 at all right now, probably not until we get much closer to the date, so please don't ask me. That is, of course, the number one cost, or the number one question I get is about costing of all of this stuff, and I totally get it, and I've been super open about my cost for round 1, which I didn't have to be. So I just don't want to get into the cost for round 2 because I'm still very much figuring out one, if it's for sure happening, and even though it's scheduled, you know, I still need to make sure it's going to happen with just stuff in my life. And what I've got on the books right now, thighs and arms, I'm still on the fence about exactly what I'm getting, and I think that might change, but I'm just not going to know until I heal more from this round. So I just don't want to get into it right now because it's going to very much be subject to change. So I'm just putting that out there. I'll eventually talk about it if and when that happens. But I do want to mention, you know, his prices have gone up, which is totally reasonable and fair given how much demand there is for them. But if you're interested in going with him, you know, his prices have gone up and will probably continue to go up as people have demand for it, which is how capitalism works. And he does a lot of work, so I'm good with it. Anyways, I think that's kind of pretty much everything I want to talk about today. Oh, I wanted to thank Denise, another one of my lovely subscribers, sent me a care package that came yesterday and had some really sweet items in it, including some bio oil for me to use on my scars, which I'm excited about once I am cleared to use that kind of stuff. Say thank you for that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I will be, of course, coming back at you with another update for my 1 month, so next week, and I think then I will do another round of updated photos and tell you all about what's happened in the week since then. If you guys have any questions, of course, leave them down below. I really do, for all of that, truly, I so appreciate all of you who are here, who are watching. Those of you who are engaging with my stuff, I super extra appreciate those who take the time to comment, and I absolutely understand that you don't always have the spoons for it, and that's totally fine. I sometimes don't have the spoons to comment on all the videos that I watch, but those comments do mean a lot to me. So for those of you who do have the time and the energy to comment when you do, I really appreciate it. Those of you who reach out to me on Instagram, and I do appreciate those of you who are curious and who have questions, because I know that this is a really interesting and exciting topic, and a lot of you have either had plastics or are looking forward to having plastics, and I'm totally happy to be a resource and to answer things. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting, for watching. I love you all, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.